been a couple of weeks, but it feels good to be back here at True Texas BBQ. And all season long, they've been such a huge supporter of this show and helping to make it happen. Can we give a big round of applause to True Texas this season and thank them? Appreciate you, Vicky, and all your staff. And looking forward to many more shows and many more years here with our partnership with the fine folks here at HEB and True Texas BBQ. Brian, good to be back, man. It's been a couple of weeks, and we wanted to have one final season finale show and honor these seniors and talk the good things about this year. But, man, it was a fun year, Brian, and good to see you again.
Man, it's good to see you too, Rob. And, we're rolling into January. What a magical, year for the Hornets. And we talked about it, and we saw from the beginning with this group and – a lot of media folks, a lot of people kind of, I don't want to say counted these guys out from the word go, but this team, this team was special. And the things they accomplished, the things that they did on the field, and things they do off the field has just been amazing and outstanding and all the other adjectives you can throw at it. But just a wonderful season, obviously. Your ultimate goal is to win it all, but these young men did a fantastic job, have nothing to be ashamed of. They had a heck of a season, and let's give it up for them for that.
Well, we're going to talk to head coach Rodney Southern here in a moment coming up, so make sure to stay with us as the Hornet Nation Coaches Show continues here live from True Texas BBQ. Coach coming up after this.
True Texas BBQ, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly.
Hi folks, this is Mattress Jack at Adams Furniture. Listen, you've been looking for sofas and love seats. Furniture in the stores today are hard to find. We're waiting on furniture, but listen, we've got trucks in and the stuff on my floor, it's in stock, ready for immediate delivery. You come in, you see it, you buy it, you get it to your house. It's that simple. We're getting inventory in the store. We've gotten several trucks in, so there's no more waiting on your sofas, your tables, your mattresses, your bedroom suites. Come in and see us, folks. It's right now going on. Hey, don't forget about our beds in there. We have great economy beds, great beds, queens for $199. How about a twin for $99? Come in and see us, folks. We have a huge bedding department. Remember, the furniture is in stock, ready for immediate delivery. That's at Adams Furniture. You won't be disappointed. All kinds of financing going on. Remember, that's Adams Furniture at 75 North and 10th Street, or shop online at shop@adams.com.
All right, friends, welcome back here at True Texas BBQ. How's everybody doing tonight? It's a little I'm thankful because it's a little chilly outside, and it finally feels like, we got a little bit of winter going on. Coach, we were gone. Nathan and I were gone yesterday. We were on the road at Louisiana, but I heard there was a little rough weather around here in Huntsville. Is that right? A little bit of hailstones.
Yeah, it wasn't in my house, so I was okay.
Yeah, we got back and we said, man, please let the glass be okay. But sometimes you want the glass to be broken. It's like, I need a new car, man. But we're here with head coach Rodney Southern. Coach, your team this year, undefeated district champion, 6-0 in district, 11-1 overall. Just wanted to give you a round of applause and your staff and your kids.
Thank you.
Just a tremendous season for these young men. And I don't want to dwell in the past too long. I talked to you previously, and I just wanted to – we're going to talk briefly about the previous game and then get that one out of the way and just talk a little bit about the success, or a lot about the success of this season. But, Coach, before we get started, just one question about the last game that I wanted to ask you, just kind of your thoughts in wrapping up that last game versus Crosby.
Well, the big thing that, and I told the guys after the game, unless you win the state championship, your year's going to end on a loss. And it's going to end with a bad taste in your mouth. And obviously that game, probably for everybody there, coaches, players, fans, everybody, it ended with a bad taste in our mouth. We lost a turnover battle one time all year, and it was that ball game. And there are a lot of things that you could look at, and, I don't dwell on that stuff because there's nothing you can do about it at that point. You got to at some point kind of step back and go, look what we have accomplished, look what these kids did. Kids that sometimes probably some people didn't know for sure, even know their names at that point, because there were so many guys that, they were, quote, having to replace. And to be able to do what they did and play as well as we played 12 weeks in a row, and then you throw in all the stops and starts and all the COVID stuff. And, and sometimes there's a game where a guy or two are going to be the difference, and their quarterback was the difference the other night. He's been the difference for them every week since then. And, and Coach and I have a pretty good relationship. And, I called him the other day after he beat Fort Bend Marshall and congratulated him, because I thought this was the year that them or us both could have got Fort Bend Marshall. So you don't dwell on it. You got to move on. But, yeah, it hurts. I mean, it stings. It feels bad. I didn't watch it till after Christmas or after New Year's. And then I look and go, well, how many decisions did I make as a head coach that, I wish I could go back and redo. So, but you don't dwell on that. You move forward. We got a lot of things ahead of us, and scary thing, 13 weeks from yesterday or Monday, we're going to be practicing football again. So you just have to kind of work through all that. We're right in the middle of trying to get as many of our kids recruited as possible, and look like we may have as many as 6 signed scholarships February the 3rd. So a lot of good things, and obviously, we've talked before about the bond, and there's going to be some more information about that, and we've got to get out and get that thing ready and get it where we need to be so we can pass it and build the facilities that these kids deserve.
Coach, outstanding year. Some people may even say magical, because a lot of people at the beginning of the season didn't give this team a whole lot of a chance to do much. And your players, your coaches, and everybody proved them wrong. What is the one thing, and I know there's many, but what is one thing that stands out in your mind that surprised you in this year?
Well, I think the biggest surprise is when you have kids, especially kids that have never started a varsity football game. You don't know when the heat is on. And I use, our quarterback, A.J. Wilson. Yeah, he played a little bit as a sophomore, but when you get thrust into that role in the situations that he was put in, you're either going to respond or you're going to wilt under the pressure. And I thought A.J., along with a lot of other guys, got better every week. And probably the thing for me, every year, and this is going to sound good and bad, every year when you do what we do, and this is 19 years for me as a head coach, you're going to have some guys that they're all about the team. You're going to have some guys that may be a little bit more concerned about themselves and how many carries they get or how many passes are thrown to me or how much I got to play. I think this group collectively just wanted to win. And, and winning now in our world is important, and sometimes how you get to that point is the hardest part. But the practice, to me, was fun. I never had a day where I, wasn't excited about some phase or some guy or somebody that we went in and said, hey, this guy, he's done some stuff that we didn't expect him to do. And a lot of that has nothing to do with winning and losing games, but I think the culture that our staff has created in our field house is going to carry on year after year after year. And you win a lot of football games based on culture. You can see it every day in the NFL. You can see it every day in college that have a good situation in their building. And these kids had that. I enjoyed this football season probably more than any I've ever done.
Well, we're talking to head coach Rodney Southern. We'll step aside and take a brief break. When we come back for our second segment, we'll recap more of the season, and we'll look ahead to the future, Coach, and other things that are going on with Hornet Athletics. We'll also talk to some seniors tonight. So make sure to stay with us. The Hornet Nation Coaches Show with head coach Rodney Southern continues here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
True Texas BBQ, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly.
The holiday season is here, and that means Wiesner of Huntsville's holiday savings event is too. Come check out these great deals at Wiesner of Huntsville, like a Buick Envision for only $26,986 or a GMC half-ton crew cab for only $36,986. Want something a little smaller? Get a 2020 GMC Acadia for only $25,986 or a Buick Encore GX for only $21,986. These deals won't last long, so hurry down for Wiesner of Huntsville's holiday savings event or shop us online at WiesnerHuntsville.com.
Welcome back, friends, as we are live from True Texas BBQ as we're continuing our season finale of the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. I'm Rob Hipp alongside Brian Adams and, of course, athletic director and head football coach Rodney Southern. Coach Southern, we talked, the team goes 11-1, and I wanted to ask you, maybe, sometimes I don't ask these questions, but I thought, why not tonight? Maybe to you, Coach, what was one of your most favorite games this season? I know it's hard to pick because there were so many of them that were fun.
It's, the situation probably – the final series against C.E. King, that's a program, and the head coach there is a good friend of mine. He and I actually went to college together. If you'd have told me that you could give the ball to somebody on the 1 foot line and give them 3 plays, I don't care what level you are, junior high up, that doesn't happen very often. The first playoff game is always – because you never know the difference in how your team is going to react when all of a sudden, okay, now it's one and done. To be able to go out in that situation and the expectation level, and this is hard for people sometimes to understand. I heard people say, well, we only won 29-0. And I'm like, do you not understand, these other teams practice and get ready for games too. But, the fact to not play your best game, we were looking at some things the other day doing our nominations for All-State. Jordan Woodbury didn't catch a pass in that game. And I didn't even think about that till I looked at the final stats of it, but then yet that's a game where we were never not in control of that football game. So, but the C.E. King game, of course, that stop to win that game, I knew at that point if we don't mess this thing up, we're going to have a chance to be pretty good.
Coach, I agree 100%. When that stop happened, I felt the same way, and it proved to be true. One of the things that we talk about week in and week out with your team on the Coaches Show, and to a man, to each one of them, they talk about the brotherhood, amongst themselves. Explain from the athletic director, head coach, talk about that and what you saw with this group of kids, because every one of them talked about the brotherhood.
Yeah. Well, I think 7 years ago when we got here, and I say we because it's obviously there are a lot of other people in that building that make this thing work, but there were 2 things that I told that point the superintendent. I said, there's 2 things I'll guarantee you. We're going to have discipline and we're going to have character. And I don't think you can have one of those without the other. But I think if you take our football team, our varsity football team this year, there's not a person, and I would stake my reputation as a coach, there's not a person in that group that doesn't have character. And when you put that together and you've got a common goal, because we didn't talk a whole lot about, hey, we want to play for a state championship, we want to do this. We want to win, get in the playoffs, because once you get in, you're in. If you don't get in, you can't do any of those things. But to a person, there's not a guy that I wouldn't, if somebody called me and said, hey, should I offer this guy a scholarship, I would say yes, and here's why. And I think that, and something that we did, and I've done it everywhere I've been as a head coach. When I got here, the first thing I told every time we practice football, your helmet is on your head. And a lot of people get irritated at me, and a lot of coaches get irritated. Of course, I know a lot of players do. But that's a discipline thing, and it's a thing that you see constantly at the next level and at the NFL level. And to me, you can't build structure in an organization if you don't have discipline. And I think these guys understood that and took to it. Practicing on Saturday and doing all the stuff that everybody does. But you've also got to be able to separate yourself somewhere. And, our motto all year was be the standard. And there's no doubt in my mind these guys collectively set a standard not only for us, but in this area now that, we're going to be a program that you're going to have to deal with every year.
We're talking to head coach Rodney Southern here on the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. Coach, any last game, any game for that matter, but especially as a senior, it's always just something very special. And I wanted to take a moment and just and talk about the seniors a little bit from your perspective. How much does, every year the senior group means a lot, but this group, particularly this year, Coach, how much have they meant to your football program and what they've done here at Huntsville ISD?
Well, I think the thing that they're going, and they'll look back, and I told them that day after the game, and I said, you won't understand it. Some of you won't understand it till you have your own kids. When you look back and you do, because when a football program, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but it's a fact, when a football program is successful in your high school, everything else is going to be better. Discipline is going to be better. Band gets more opportunities. Cheerleaders get more opportunities. So they impact a lot of that stuff. It's just like if they ever really looked at it, when our 7th and 8th graders are playing, I always tell some of these guys, look at what number they're wearing. There's a reason they're wearing number 4 or number 99 or number 12 or number whatever. It's because they're emulating somebody that they look at and say, in 2-3 years, that's me. But I think this group, and they're all different. They all got a different story. Some of them, this was their first year of varsity. This is their first year where they were truly, okay, I'm relied on every Friday night to be a playmaker. And then there were other ones. Q Riles always comes to mind. He's been a 3-year starter for us. But there was a couple games where Q played between 70 and 100 snaps. So, you always think back, and, of course, I'll always look back, and there's a funny story probably for every one of these guys. But the other one that immediately comes to mind, Jordan Woodbury played not a whole lot last year, but he played. But look at the breakout year, and Jordan got his first scholarship offer yesterday, probably going to get 2 or 3 more this weekend. So, and when we look back at him, and I didn't realize this till we started doing our stuff for All-State. He ran 3 punts back for touchdowns. He ran 3 kickoffs back for touchdowns. He had another punt return call back for a touchdown. I've never had anybody do that in 33 years of coaching. So you'll look back after the fact, and hopefully these guys will also, when we have our banquet and show our highlight film, they'll look back and go, wow, man, we were pretty good.
I sit there and I look at these young men over there and, understand what they went through. And not many people get to, really experience that kind of thing. But, they went to battle with each other. And to be a Hornet, it means everything. These guys will know that as long as they live. What, from the head coaching, your perspective, is going to help those guys transition into their next phase?
Well, I think there's 2 or 3 things that we pride ourselves program-wise. Number one is obviously discipline. When these guys go to the next level, because I had 2 of them from 2 years ago come back over the week after Christmas after we lost, and one of them told me, he said, I wish you were the head coach where I am now. He said, because you're more organized than they are. And, and that's a little thing, but for me that's a huge thing. These guys know we're going to do this at this time, we're going to do this at this time. And when you present that to them in a football situation, normally they're going to be able to handle it. Now, there's going to be times where you're going to get penalties or whatever, but we're going to have discipline, we're going to be organized, there's going to be structure in our building. And the other thing that a lot of people don't think is important, I do, we're going to look the same. I tell them all the time, when I'm on the sideline, I'm dressed exactly like every other coach. You're not going to be able to pick out the head coach because he's wearing a different color jersey or a different color shirt or a different color whatever. When we go out to practice, if we're wearing sweats, everybody's wearing sweats. And to me, that's just another way that guys understand you're part of something that's bigger than you, but yet you're going to have to conform to an extent to what's happening in that environment. And I think when you get that, I think all that boils down to culture. And when you get that culture, you're going to be successful every year.
Coach, this program and these kids, for me, someone that's new here, just coming here in July and being here, I've seen this community come together so much stronger, in my opinion, through what I've seen through these kids. And so from your perspective and these kids, or from our perspective, what these kids have done and what you have done have really helped to bring this community together. And you talk about a season where COVID was rampant, and it still is, and we're still dealing with the pandemic, but this gave a sense of normalcy to the community. Coach, the future's bright at Huntsville. I wanted to talk about that. Of course, football for now, this season is done, but there's still other sports going on. Basketball's underway now, and the boys team with Coach Oliphant will start up coming up next week. The girls have already started. As the athletic director, maybe talk just briefly about some of those other sports and some things that are happening through the district, Coach.
Well, the biggest thing with how all the structure in terms of UIL, they've just pushed the wrestling season back to March the 1st. Our powerlifting season is still kind of up in the air as far as what will happen. Track meets are going to be very limited in terms of the number of participants and where all you can go. Basketball, of course, I really felt for Coach Oliphant because I think 12 or 14 of our top guys football-wise are going out there. 4 of the 5 starters Tuesday night in their first district game are going to be football players. So, Coach O understands the importance of those kids playing multiple sports and will be successful because of those types of kids. The girls won their first district game the other night and have to go on the road. But there's going to be a lot kind of jammed into the spring. Baseball starts a week earlier. Softball starts a week earlier than normal. But by the end of March or middle of March, we're going to have more sports going on at one time than we probably normally do during the year. So the spring is going to be really crazy in terms of where kids are, especially our kids that do multiple things.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to all of the things happening at Huntsville ISD, and just for me and Brian and the community, thank you and thank your staff for all that you do for these kids.
Appreciate it,
Coach.
Thank y'all.
Well, Coach, know that you got to get running here before too long. I just wanted to give you any final comments before we let you go tonight, Coach.
Well, thank you to both of y'all, and obviously Rob coming here and allowing us and helping us get this off the ground is monumental for us. It's exposure that these kids that have the opportunity to get up here and do this, it's just going to make them better human beings in the long run, and hopefully it's something we can continue and expand and continue to do a lot of different things. And obviously thank you to KSAM for allowing you to help us do this, and it's going to be something that's going to be really good and continue to grow. So thank you.
Appreciate you, Coach. Let's give it up one more time, Head Coach Rodney Southern. We'll step aside and take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from some of the seniors, some of the players that are here tonight. So stay with us, friends. The Hornet Nation Coaches Show continues here on the Hornet Nation Broadcast Network.
True Texas BBQ, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly.
Now through January 9th, join Anytime Fitness Huntsville for only $1. Located on Sam Houston Avenue, Anytime Fitness Huntsville is offering a special promotion now through January 9th. Join for only $1 and enjoy access to America's #1 fitness provider. Membership includes unlimited tanning, personal training, and 24-hour nationwide access. Anytime Fitness Huntsville is devoted to providing the cleanest gym in town. Let's make healthy happen for only $1 at Anytime Fitness Huntsville.
All right, well, welcome back. We are live here at True Texas BBQ. Good to have everybody here tonight. Thank y'all for being here. We got a great group of young men. Let's give it up for these guys. Come on, guys. Good to have y'all here tonight.
Heck of a season.
Yeah, come on, man.
Heck of a season.
Well, we got Ed up here with us right now. We said, hey, guys, come on. Of course, Ed ran right to the hot seat over here. So,
99.
Ed, there was a thing that Brian and I last year when we were doing Sam Houston football, and I forgot who that. It was Javon Leon. And Brian would always go, Javon Leon. And for some reason, with you, we started, it just the 99 kind of flew out of Brian's mouth. So we got 99 up here with us. Talk a little bit about just this season. What was the biggest highlight, and what are you most proud of this season, man?
I would say I'm most proud of everybody and how we came together, even when we lost. Nobody expected us to lose. I feel like that loss was on us as a team instead of our coaches. They prepared us all year, and I don't blame them at all for that loss. We picked each other up after, and all the coaches were there and supported us even when we lost, and so was the fans in the community. So I'll say I'm most proud of that, even though that something didn't go our way. But I'm proud of everybody.
Your teammates, talk a little bit about those guys. How much you mentioned a little bit just now, but how much of these guys meant to you, man?
Man, it's my family. Like, I don't know. It's not even really a team. Like, I feel like everybody can go to each other's house and everybody, moms and dads, brothers, sisters, everybody get along. It's more like a family than a team.
It's kind of a brotherhood.
Yeah.
It's a green and white brotherhood. It'll be there for life. And we got to watch you guys all year long, and y'all were just steady and steadily beating folks week after week. Yeah. And you never got overly excited. Y'all just stayed, just even keel throughout the whole season and just demolished everybody that got in front of you. And as Coach Southern said, if you don't win it all, then you're going to end on a losing, and that's part of life. Some of these life lessons that makes football such a great game happens in real life too, and it's how you react to those kind of things. And you guys made, a whole community proud, and just unbelievable.
Hey, Brian kind of said it nonchalantly. I forget the word that you said, but it was a word kind of for being tough, destroying other teams basically. And this was the hardest hitting football that I've ever seen at the high school level. What was that like going? I sometimes, man, I saw you up there, Ed, and I don't know what was going through your mind, but you're like, man, is that guy going? Is he okay? It was but that's just part of football. You're out there playing hard. What was that like to you this season? Just having such a very tough team that you guys built together, and tough in a very strong team.
I think early on we wanted to set the tone. We were already counted out, so we had to give everybody something to talk about. Something positive at least. So we just played to the best of our abilities. Nobody expected us to do what we did besides us and our parents and our coaches. So to just go out and shock everybody every week was, the best part.
Sometimes a mayor can make proclamations, and it happens in communities all over. I'm sure it happens here in Huntsville, where they proclaim a day a certain day. I think they could rename Huntsville Hitsville for a day. What do you think, Ed?
Oh, it sounds good to me.
Well, one of the funny things with us is y'all played a very physical game, and your confidence level, and it's kind of a swagger or an attitude or whatever it is you want to call it, but that's Huntsville football. And when you go play somebody, they know that they're going to be in trouble, because if they come across the middle, they're going to get laid out. Yeah. Or if that quarterback is unprotected, he's going down. And that is a swagger and an attitude that was so much fun to watch with you guys. And you could see it. Believe me, the other team knew it. And that is such a big advantage. And you guys did it naturally, which was so cool to watch.
I think it was, Brian was up there. He's like, man, Brian was probably like, I wish I could go back 60 years and be back. Sorry, Brian. No, no, Brian. I've been punching Brian all season like that, man. That's why Brian and I get along. See, they like it, Brian.
Yeah.
I was just lucky. I'm just lucky, Ed, that Brian didn't, backhand me up on that booth this season, man. But no, seriously, though, Brian's, I know from his perspective, him watching you guys and anyone that's played the game of football can say, that takes them back. And so that's something that's very special. And I want you guys to know how much that you all mean to this community, not just because of football. Football's great, but more of what you guys do for the community and in the community. That's something to be commended upon. I wanted to ask you one final question, and then we're going to take a break and talk to the other guys. But outside of, football, talk about a life lesson. What have you learned? I say outside of football, it's really from football. What life lesson do you think that you've learned the most in your high school career from the game of football? And I know that's maybe a tough one, but just kind of think about that and whatever pops into your mind.
I would say no matter how you start, it's about how you finish. I just think back from freshman year. It's a crazy story, actually. I actually got my spot took freshman year. Somebody transferred in, and, he took my spot. So, and just everything that I've accomplished this season, it's a lot to name off the top of my head, but, just to think back, if I would have gave up whenever I got my spot took, I've been in a totally different position that I'm in right now. So I would just say no matter how you start, finish better than you started.
Great, man.
Well,
final camera's right there on you before we let you go. Who do you want to send a shout-out to one final time on this football season, man?
I want to send a shout-out to everybody who supported us the whole season. I want to shout out my mom and my grandma, all y'all. I want to send a special shout-out to Miss Sherry, for taking care of us the whole season. I know you're watching, so I love you.
All right. Brian, one final time, that number. Can you say it?
99. Ed Bobino.
All right. Well, Ed, we're going to step aside, everybody. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear from more of the seniors. Stay with us, friends. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show.
True Texas BBQ, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly.
This is Kevin with Beckham & Jones Heating and Air Conditioning. Winter is here, so if you haven't had your heater checked, call us at 936-295-9173 and we will make sure your heater is running safe and efficient. Also, if someone in your home is suffering from allergies, we can install indoor air quality products such as air purifiers, media filters, UV lights, dehumidifiers, and more. Give us a call today at 936-295-9173 and make sure your home is healthy and comfortable. Your neighbor since 1946. Now that's Beckham & Jones.
License number TACLA 26079C.
All right, we're having fun tonight, friends. Thank y'all for being out here. True Texas BBQ here at HEB. Thank you to Vicky and HEB as
You
we
got
continue.
barbecue yet?
I did the other day. I had a pulled pork sandwich, man. I finally got some food, man. Well, we're talking now. We're going to go down the line of a few seniors here tonight. We've got some other classmates that are here as well, but we're going to talk as we continue. Cody in the house, man. C-Mac, Cody Mclaren in the house,
18.
man. 18 in the house.
Look at his mom.
All right.
Now she can relax.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be
Mom
worried
is up
every
here.
week.
We're going to probably have to talk to her after this. No, Cody, how's it going, man?
Good. How about y'all?
Good. It's good to see you again, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, we wanted to have one final wrap-up show. I know that, things can be tough after a loss, but there's so much more good than that one loss, and that's what we wanted to highlight tonight and to reiterate to you guys how much you mean to this community and how much you mean to us. Cody, a senior, what was the biggest highlight of this season for you, young man?
This one's kind of funny, actually. It's about it. That Montgomery game, we were on the line. They had to go for a 2-point conversion, and this boy's 10 yards back and slung the quarterback 10 more yards back, and I turn around and he's standing over there like this. Just over the dude. That was like the funny, but. Just the fun to have with these guys, it was the biggest highlight.
Cody, I enjoyed watching you play defensively, and man, you had some big hits out there, and that's one of the fun things about football. It's part of the game, But what was, big hits aside, what was one of your biggest moments in your opinion?
Probably that C.E. King, that stop.
Yeah.
Just to come out beginning of the season and then everyone not knowing what we were, and then we did that. That was a big, big part. I would have never imagined being a part of something like that.
Coach Southern touched on it. You just touched on it. I think everybody in the community, when they saw that, felt like this team was going to be special. And it obviously turned out a very special team. But that was, I've seen a lot of football in my day. But that drive, that stop was absolutely amazing. And you guys had a great run, a great year. Very proud of you, man.
Yes, sir.
Good job, Cody.
Thank you.
Well, Cody, we're talking to Cody Mclaren, man. Just as I asked Ed, life lesson, what is the biggest life takeaway from football? See, all these other guys, they're like, oh, now y'all are getting lucky because now y'all are going to know how to answer this. But what would you say is the biggest takeaway that you've learned in football that you can apply to life, man?
If you're not on time, you're late because coach is always hounding on us about be there at 7:15. And if you're on time, you're late. If you're late, you're fired. So you got to be early to be on time. And that's always been a thing. Just stay ready.
Other sports for you? Do you play other sports?
I
right?
play baseball.
Baseball. What are you looking forward to about that, man?
I'm ready to go to playoffs this time. We got a good team coming up this year. And Coach Denny's been doing real good and getting everyone prepped, and it's gonna be a good year this year.
Awesome. Well, Cody, camera's right there on you, man. Who do you want to send a little shout out to tonight from Huntsville, Texas, man?
I want to shout out to everyone who supported us, and then my mom, my dad, and my grandparents in Belton.
All right, Cody. Good to have you, man. Congratulations on the success. We're proud of you guys, man. All right, well, moving on down, man, to Brian. This number?
55.
55.
Double nickel.
Double nickel in the house. Let's give it up for Brian Bobino in the house. Brian, it's Bobino, right?
It's Bobino.
See, man, I said Bobino all season, okay?
Yeah,
and I said this all season, okay? And Big Mama's my neighbor. She told me to call her Big Mama. That's her name. And I said, Brian was on my show, and he said Bobino. And she goes, no, it's Bobino. And I was like, no, I don't think it is. And so nobody got on to me for saying Bobino all season. And so it just kind of kept going.
And then you saying it.
And then Brian said it. So we were questioning ourselves the last game. And then somebody said, it's okay. Just say Bobino. So did that work all right, man?
Yeah, it's like a nickname for us. They always called us Bobino or Babino.
Well, cool, man. Well, the nickel 55 in the house, man. How are things going for you, man?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. How about y'all?
Hey, I like that. We're getting it. We're doing good, man.
Things are good. Hey, Brian, let me ask you something real quick. Getting to play beside your brother, and we've talked about it, several weeks on the coaching show. I can't imagine how cool that was. But not only playing right beside your brother, but dominating the guy across from you in every game. What do you guys do when the game's over, man? Do y'all go home and high five each other and just what do y'all do?
No.
Come on.
When the game over, we usually just talk about like who put up more stats on the bus, and then after that, when we get back to the locker room, it's like we worry about the next team.
Well, it was incredible. I can't imagine the experience playing right beside your brother, and both of you, that whole defense, the whole team playing at such a high level was so much fun to watch. So we appreciate that.
Yes, sir. This defense, the defense, because I played on defense, this has been the best defense that I ever played with, and this has been the best team overall that I have played with, and I played with a lot of great teams, and these are the best teammates that I ever had in my life.
Well, tell me real quick, what, we watched them week in, week out. What made the team so special?
It's the level of understanding of the game and the brotherhood, but it's the way we love the game so much, and we can just break down football like in the snap of a finger. So it's just like the game came easy to us and made it fun for the people to watch.
And you had fun.
Yes, sir.
And that's what that's what the game is all about. It's competing and having fun.
Brian, what was your favorite moment of the season, man? What did you enjoy the most? You talked a little bit earlier about getting out there and playing with your brother and knocking people around. What was the most fun, man? If you could find one moment that you enjoyed the most, what would that be?
The moment that I enjoyed the most fun on the team, it's a lot of them. It have to be like, I have to say it's probably going back to that CE King game. They on the 1 yard line, and if they win, if they score, they win, and if we stop them, we win. And it was like everybody was panicking and we was arguing, but we came and we had to do what we did, and it was exciting to know that we came out with the win, being clutch.
You know, something that I noticed, and I always like to bring this up, and then I've got one final question for you on the shout-out, but I wanted to talk about this and just how important is this to you and your team, because, you know, we go back to that last game, and it was a tough loss, but you know what I saw after that game? I saw guys going out there and hugging. I saw Crosby players coming up, patting you on the back. I saw you guys going and patting the other team on the back. How important is that, and what does that mean to y'all, man?
It's really important. First, Coach had always taught us since day one when me and Ed came in. He taught us sportsmanship first. So we had to go and congratulate the other team, but it meant a lot to us because we didn't want to fall short. We had a goal, and the goal was to win state. So we didn't want to fall short, but it was important to us because I didn't want to let the next man down, just like he didn't want to let the next man down. And we all played for each other from the first snap to the last snap. But we did so much, and it sucks that we had lost.
Well, you know, we're going to have that Hitsville day eventually, and I think we'll see if we can get that to come to Huntsville, man. We saw it on the field a lot. So one final question, you know, as I've asked everybody, just the biggest takeaway from football for you. You know, what has the game taught you going forward?
The game has taught me life is going to have a bunch of ups and downs and bumps in the road. It just taught me that you have to move forward and leave the bad in the past and focus on the good ahead.
Awesome. Camera's right there on you, man. Who do you want to send a shout-out to tonight from the Ville?
First, I want to shout out my mama and my granny so I can get that out the way. But I want to shout out the city of Huntsville, and I want to shout out my teammates. We did it for the city, and we did it for each other.
Awesome. We're proud of you guys, man. Brian, great one, man. Thank you, buddy. Move over. Mr. Bridges, how you doing tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
Good to see you, man. We haven't had you on the show yet this season.
No, sir.
So you get to come in here and hang out, man, and it's been a lot of fun. So good to have you here tonight, man.
It's good to be here.
So safety on the team, your senior year. What has this year meant to you?
It's meant a lot, actually. Being able to play with these guys and see them play, it was amazing.
Brian, you look back at so many positive moments and things. What was your favorite moment, Brian, of this season?
That CE King game and that Montgomery game where it came down to the wire, really.
What was the Fog Bowl like? I didn't ask any of these other guys yet. Fog Bowl number 2. We couldn't see from the booth. What was going through your mind during that game, man?
It was hard to see and everything, so I didn't get to play that game in Nacogdoches, but they did. But I'm pretty sure they had fun out there.
Brian, first of all, it's a very cool name. I like it. Yeah, exactly. Man, they're like, man, who's what? Playing safety, right? That is a headhunter position, and you get a chance to lay the wood on your opponent. How does that feel when you see that wideout coming across the middle, and you know you're fixing to take a shot on him? What's going through your mind at that point?
Well, it's quite a lot. It's like, should I hit him hard enough or should I go for the ball, really?
It's a tough decision, isn't it?
Yeah.
I say cut him in half, But, man, outstanding job. What an exciting season. Playing alongside these guys, and they talk about the brotherhood and things like that. What does that mean to you, being a Hornet?
It means quite a lot because these guys taught me stuff that I didn't know, and I taught them stuff. It's like a brotherhood. We can fight and argue, but at the end of the day, we still get along.
You still wear the same colors.
Yes, sir.
You will for life. That's part of it. So, man, great job this year. Very good.
Well, we're talking to Brian Bridges. Brian, as I've asked all these guys here tonight, take away from football, a life lesson that you can take with you outside the game of football, young man.
No matter how hard life hits you, always bounce back.
That's a good one. I like that.
I do too.
Well, Brian, I wanted to ask you real quick, just a final question. These seniors and your classmates and your teammates, what have they meant to you, man? I know you talked about the brotherhood a while ago, but I just kind of want to ask you that question again. What is this team and what have these seniors, your teammates, meant to you this year?
They're like my other family from my other home because we spent a lot of time together practicing and playing, and we hanged out. Some of us hanged out after school and all that. So, yeah, it's like my other family.
All right, well, let's give it up one more time. Mr. Bridges in the house. Good to have you here, my friend. Camera's right there on you. Who do you want to say hello to tonight from Huntsville?
I want to shout out to my mom, my dad, and my grandparents, and my grandma. I hope she's watching. But I want to also shout out to the city and all of our fans. Thank y'all. We did our best this season.
Yeah, you did. One more time. We'll give you one more, man. Thank you, guys. So that's all the seniors, right? That's all the seniors. Big round of applause for the seniors. I told you we're going to clap. Our hands are going to hurt tonight. No, it's all good. We're going to go down now. I know there's some other guys here, and I just wanted to give you guys just a brief chat as well. Mr. Long in the house, how's it going?
Going good.
Good to see you, man. Junior this year, right?
Yes, sir.
Tight end?
Yes, sir.
So, what has this season meant to you, Matt? What has this season meant to you, man?
It's meant a lot to me because it's been my first year on varsity, playing with my brothers. So it's been real fun.
What did you learn through this season?
How to play with intensity and not to quit.
What are some areas, as you grew and developed, what are some areas that you felt you saw a lot of growth in this year? Because we saw improvement. Brian and I were stepping back and we watch all of you guys. And I saw improvements game after game, Matt, from you. And did that just improve with practicing? Kind of what was your schedule like going into each game, man?
Just taking the coaching that I get throughout the week and just using it in the game.
Hey, Matt, again, outstanding season. You get to come back and do it again. And, we watched you progress throughout the year playing, the receiver position, the tight end position. And, from where you started and where you ended, man, it was an amazing transformation because in the end you were catching anything and everything that was coming your direction. But not only do you have to catch the football, you have to block and do. It's kind of a multitasking type position. It's very important. What was one of your favorite highlights this season for you?
When I got my one and only touchdown. Yeah.
That was big, huh?
Yeah.
You'll never forget that.
So.
Your seniors, and I may have asked you this earlier, and just kind of circling back, the seniors on the team, their leadership, what has that meant to you, and what have you learned from these guys, man?
I learned a lot from them. Just learn how to fight through every play and to not quit.
And next year now you're a senior, so that leadership role is going to transition to you, man. And I think you're going to do a really good job.
Appreciate it.
So we're proud of you. Let's give it up, Matt. Well, real quick before we give it up, who you wants to shout out to tonight?
To my mom and dad out there, Lil Andre, Haley, and shout out to Guy.
Awesome. Let's give it up, Mr. Matt Long in the house. As we'll go down.
Bunchelli.
Bunchelli in the house. Brian always says, Brian knows your family, man.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Bunchelli, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
This year, what does this year mean to you, man?
It means a lot because playing beside these guys, because it's just crazy to think like how we grew up all playing together, and then now we're playing on Friday nights.
This year, a lot of hard hits out there. You're in that linebacker position. What did it feel to be out there? And we saw some hits from you too, man. What was that like this season?
Yes, sir. Well, playing linebacker, it's like you get to play the run and drop in coverage and play the pass. So it's crazy to think like you get to play both because D-line, you're mostly covering the run, and then if you're a DB, you're covering the pass. So.
Hey, Bun, all you guys, for that matter, I don't know if you understand kind of the gravity of where you guys are, but you have so many kids coming up through the program, little kids that look up to you guys. What would you tell them, Bun, if you had a youngster come up to you, asking you about something and wanting some guidance? Because you guys are role models. Make no mistake about it. And what would you tell a JV kid or a freshman kid, coming up in the program?
I think I would just tell them, just don't give up. Like, keep fighting, and eventually you're going to get through it.
You're a junior this year, senior next year. You're going to move into that leadership role just like Matt. What are you looking forward to the most coming up next year, man?
Really being one of the leaders on the defense, playing middle linebacker. You're like the captain of the defense, so.
Biggest takeaway from you so far that you've learned from the game of football, man? And you still got another year. There may be a new takeaway next year. You never know, man.
I'm about to say, because I'll take like film and like the game of football like mentally, like I feel like more than usual. So I feel like I'm like smarter than like the average football player. So you can ask them even when we're on defense, right before the play, I'm yelling out what they're gonna do. Like I'm yelling out like 3 different options that like they can do. And most of the time I'm right, just from watching film and studying. You know.
That's all right. Yeah, that's good. Well,
Don't
cool.
stop. Keep it going. Yeah.
And do you play other sports, Bun?
Yes, sir. I play baseball too.
Awesome, man. So we're gonna see you out there on the baseball field this year
Yes,
too.
sir.
So awesome. Well, finally, camera's right there on you. Who do you want to send a shout out to tonight?
I want to shout out my family. They're at home watching. And then I want to shout out my teammates and then the community for supporting us.
Awesome. Let's give it up, Bunchelli. Good to have you here, man.
Bunchelli.
It's kind of got that Javon Leon ring to it.
Yeah.
Seth Carroll in the house. Let's give it up, Seth Carroll in the house. Seth Carroll, how are things going tonight, young man?
It's pretty good. Yeah, good.
Doing wonderful, thank you. Well, it's good to have you here tonight, a junior. It's this season. It was a great season. What was the highlight for you?
Highlight. I have 2. So obviously the CE King game, because unfortunately Sebastian got hurt that game, and so I came in and I played the rest of that game, and so being on the field during that play and everything. But also the next week, my first varsity start, I had a pretty good game. I would say so. So that'd probably be my highlight, most top moment of the year.
Seth, let me ask you this. So you're going to be coming back for your senior season, and what are you going to do differently, just yourself personally, to prepare for next year than you did this year?
I feel like starting preparing for next year right now, like not waiting till the summer to take off season seriously. Like right now, take off season seriously, and next year I'd say trust myself more. I tend to sometimes let my mind get to the best of me, and when certain things don't go my way. So I feel like just trusting my ability and knowing that I know what's going on and doing that next year for sure.
And so you're playing. Do you play other sports also?
Baseball, yeah.
Awesome.
Baseball, yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of baseball going on after this as well.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Well, hey, what has football taught you? You know, as a junior, still got another year, but what has it taught you so far?
To be honest, just how to. I'm still young, but how to be a man on and off the field, and respect would be huge. Obviously, you don't talk to your coaches how you talk to your friends. So I feel like respect would be a big thing.
You know, talking about the seniors on this team, what are these guys over here to your right? What have they meant to you this year? And the ones that aren't here as well, what have all the seniors meant to you, man?
No idea. Ed, Brian, Q, Seabass, my guys, and D-line, It's like a little brotherhood within the defense, within the team. It's just nothing beats that, and something I'm never gonna forget.
Awesome.
Tell my kids down the road when I'm showing them old footage of their pops back when he was in high school.
and then grandpa pops over there. He'll be grandpa pops then. So,
yeah. So yeah.
Well, cool, man. Well, Seth, who do you want to send a shout out to? Camera's right there on you, man.
My mom. Obviously, my sister, my grandparents, old man right there, and my boys that are here and not here. It was a fun ride, and can't wait for next year.
Awesome. We're proud of you, Seth.
Yes,
great
sir.
season, young
Thank
man.
you.
All right, great. Well, we got one more. We got a player here tonight. Didn't play football, but he's going to get on the microphone. I said if you show up, you're going to get on the microphone. Baseball player. What's your name, young man?
Caleb Kahn.
Oh man, he's got that radio voice. Can you say? Hey, can you say hello Huntsville? Can you try it real quick?
Go Huntsville.
Oh, you see, he's got. Yeah, say hello Huntsville.
Hello Huntsville.
All right, see, he's got that voice. Well, hey, Caleb, you play baseball, man. So I wanted to ask you this, and I'm glad you're here tonight because it's you play, but you're here supporting these guys. What has this baseball team meant to you and your classmates? You didn't play on the football team, but what have these football guys meant to you, man?
Well, I've grown up with all these people, so Me and Bun and Seth and Matt, and I met the Bobinos this year and last year, but they're like good friends of mine. I grew up with them, so it's just like in middle school I played football with them, and then in high school I just I took my own path with baseball. But I was at every game. I was always supporting my friends, always posting them, happy for them. Bobino, he getting all those offers. I'm happy for him. First one to text him, like just supporting them, you know.
Awesome. Well, this has been a very special group, and we're excited about these guys. What's one thing that you learned just from watching these guys and the things that maybe you've heard here tonight? What are some things that stood out to you?
Well, how their program is like really disciplined and how they work together. I feel like some of those things I could take and put it in the baseball program. Maybe like all their discipline, hard work. They're always showing up early on time. We could do that in baseball, and you know. Awesome. Well, camera's right there, man. Who you want to send a shout out to tonight? I mean, I guess my family and my friends. And Huntsville, so.
All right, it's Caleb, right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Let's give it up for Caleb, man. See, when you show up, you get on the microphone. Well, we're going to step aside. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap it up here. This is the Hornet Nation Coaches Show. We'll be right back live from True Texas BBQ.
True Texas BBQ, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly.
Have you been thinking about replacing your current vehicle with a quality pre-owned like new vehicle? Well, Charlie's Used Cars has a large selection of quality like new vehicles in stock and ready to go. No need to waste your time driving around and shopping. Just look up charliesusedcars.com or go by and see him at 230 I-45 South in Huntsville. Charlie's Used Cars has been serving the area for 47 years and look forward to many more. And remember, when your current vehicle needs service or repairs, they can do that too. That's Charlie's Used Cars and Charlie's Service Center, located at 230 I-45 South in Huntsville. That's Charlie's Used Cars.
All right, welcome back. True Texas BBQ. How you guys doing tonight? A little extended show tonight as we're getting close to wrapping up, but you know, Ed had something else he wanted to say, so we're going to bring it back to Ed Bobino. Ed, go ahead, man.
Hang on.
Wait, what happened, Brian?
Well, so we've asked a lot of these kids, young men, what else they do. I mean, not only play football, because we got multi-sport individuals in here. Ed, besides football, what do we do?
You know, many people don't know this, but I actually have a love for soccer too. You know, I'm on the soccer team. I couldn't go tonight because, you know, I'm still trying to get the film and everything down. So when I come to the team, I help the team instead of hold them back from what they could truly become. So, you know, I'm going to be a part of the soccer team. You know, 99, if y'all want to come and support, y'all can come. You know, it's important to support every team in the Huntsville program, not just the football team. You know, basketball, baseball, you know, soccer, tennis, anything, you know, cheerleading and band. The whole high school is, you know, we're a family without us even knowing it. So, you know, if I can just bring, you know, a couple of supporters to the soccer team and show them that, you know, the only sport, my bad, if I can come to the soccer team and, you know, bring extra supporters so they can know that, you know, their sport is loved by everybody in the community and not just football, you know. I feel like that's something positive that I can do.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that, Ed.
Very good.
So good to have you again tonight, man. So, and remember, in soccer, you can't go out there. It's not Hitsville in soccer. So
I mean, you can a little
bit. So, all right. Well, Miss Mclaren joining us tonight. Brandy, thank you for all your support and all that you guys do with the Booster Club this season. We appreciate you guys for helping to make what we do possible. And I missed the last few meetings just because of scheduling things, but thank you for everything. You know, there's something real big going on right now. The community's talking about this bond package and different things, and I think these kids are a prime example of this community and good things that are on the way.
You're exactly right. And the one thing we want to remember too is, you know, these boys here, and it's every one of them down this line, they won't get to see and get to be a part of those facilities. But they've done something in the last 3 to 4 years that they've been in these programs, whether it's football, baseball, soccer, tennis, whatever the case may be, that have helped made this bond possible. Their legacy, their leadership, their determination has made this bond possible. And it's not just for the athletic programs, it's for the entire school district as well. And this is going to help kids for years to come. And we want people to know that. And, you know, we know our school board is getting ready to meet on it and hopefully call for the bond either this month or next month. And we want people to go out and vote for this bond, not just for the new football stadium, but it's not just for those facilities. It's for the kids. And, you know, it's like a lot of us have spoke about before. Our kids now are not going to have that opportunity. But I have a grandchild in Huntsville ISD who will benefit from that program, from those facilities later on within a few short years. These kids will come back to this community and their kids will have an opportunity to play on those fields. These boys can come back and say, you're playing on the field that I helped get. And that's important. And we all want to know, and we all want to be able to support that in the long run, because it's not just the athletic bond, it's the educational bond as well that's going to touch all of our campuses in the school district.
I've seen it, you know, firsthand in my community that I spent 36 years in. When that package was first presented, there's a lot of questions and a lot of concern, but eventually it prevailed, and it was part of a package system to where there was a new facility that was built, where there was the educational component, which is extremely critical more than anything, but that other facilities and new things getting built. And it turned the program around, and more importantly, it turned the community around as far as support and engagement, and the community benefited from it because they were able to rent out those facilities when they weren't in use. So it was a good economic
absolutely right.
benefit
And
to
you
the
know,
community.
right now, like our baseball and softball program, they don't even have their own field. We use city facilities that our coaches are having to upkeep right now. And granted, you know, our coach, the baseball coach, has done an excellent job on the baseball field, but we deserve to have that own field on our school campus, where our school district can revenue from that as well. I mean, we're losing revenue from that as well. So it helps that in the long run as well.
Well, Brandy, you know, an exciting season, a heartbreaking end, but so much success, and it's I don't ever want to devalue the success because of one loss. This was so tremendous. Not many teams make it to the final 16. That's something to be commended, and just extraordinary effort and a great job this season. You know, you were there with the Booster Club as the president of the club, and making things and gears work with everyone else, and Brian's here tonight, and as well as many other folks. I appreciate Miss Long and Andre and all that you guys do as well. Terry's here, and so just so many wonderful people that help to make that possible. Talk just briefly about just what this Booster Club, what it means to you. You know, I know that you're the president of it, so I'm gonna let you talk it up a little bit. What has it meant to you?
It's been a lot, because I mean, for me, it's about these boys. And not just the ones on the varsity squad. It's the JV, it's the freshmen, it's the 8th graders, it's the 7th graders, because we're there to support all of them. And it's about helping coach to make sure they've got what they need in order to have a successful program. So we're always there for that. And it's just knowing I did my part as a volunteer to help make them successful.
Well, Brandy, we want to thank you and Brian and the whole, you know, the officers and everybody in the quarterback club, because, you know, it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of.
And you've been there too.
I've done that. I understand. It's not easy to kind of organize such a massive project, really.
You know, and I have to thank the board that I had, because Brian's our vice president. I've got Christina Stanford as our secretary, and then Jennifer Tester as our treasurer. And we've had a great board. You know, you have those, and Brian, you know as well, you have those key volunteers that are always there no matter what. And Mr. Long is one of those, and also Mr. Terry. I couldn't do it without any of those volunteers. We couldn't do it without any of those volunteers. And, you know, it's one of those things where you come to the meetings and you only have 12 people there. Well, it's a community organization. It's not meant for just your parents of those players. And it's not just meant for your parents of your varsity players. We reach out all the way to Mance Park to get parents involved. But it's not just the parents. It should be the community as well.
Well, we appreciate it. Let's give it up for the Booster Club. Thank you guys for all that you do. And y'all, I was nervous when I came to Huntsville, and you guys helped me feel right at home. So thank you for that. And just this community has been tremendous. So Brandy, looking forward to much more down the road and what
we
what these
thank
kids
y'all
are going to do.
too. We appreciate everything y'all did. And hey, y'all didn't get to broadcast during the playoffs. I'm going to throw that little niche in there again. But you know, we hated that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
I got to say this real quick, Rob, about Brandy. I would see your mom and dad either before or after the ball game.
She's like, don't tell
the story. Please don't tell the story. But, man, let me tell you, man, one, obviously the love is all there. But your mother, I've never seen somebody so nervous, but before a football game in my life than your mom, and it was just priceless to watch, man.
My biggest booster club story this year was we were told at 2 different venues that we weren't going to be able to broadcast at them because of certain things. I won't say the names in particular. One of them was like, well, we already have a system in place, so you can't do video here at our facility. And we're like, we got to figure out a way to do video because these are our kids in our community.
That's right.
And thank to that school district who allowed us to do that. And then the second school district, rain was in the forecast. They told us, sorry, we're putting radio outside this year. And so I'm sitting there thinking, well, can we set up outside? Can I bring a tent? No, you can't bring a tent on the home team side. I said, well, can I bring a tent on the away team, on the away side? Well, no, because that we sell those tickets on the away side, so we can't set you up over there. I said, well, what if we buy a group of tickets and then we basically, we'll see what we can do. And thank goodness for Coach Southern, because Coach Southern told me, he goes, Rob, if you have any problems all season long, just holler. And I don't like to bug the coaches. But I called Coach Southern, and every time, literally within like an hour, he'd call me back, Rob, everything's cool. And what was neat about you guys in a booster club is that one game where it was pouring down rain. We got there. You and your husband were already setting up the tent for us. And so thank you for doing that, because that tent allowed us to broadcast the game. And that was the most fun that I had out there in the middle of our fans. So thank you, Brandy, and for you guys doing that. That was fun. So that was my fun booster story of the year. Well, Brian, I wanted to end on this, and I'll let you have just a final thought, Brian. I wanted to honor our seniors, and I'm hoping that I don't skip over any. And if I do, someone please speak up at the end of this. But I always like to make sure that we honor our seniors, and I'm going to read those names. Jordan Woodbury, who just had a great season. Good for that young man. Tank Jadarian White, also Ethan Minor, Jamarcus Howard, Ty Matthews, several more of them here. Brian Bridges, who's here tonight. Cody Mclaren also here, LaDamian McCoy, Jarrett Ortega, also Jaden Ross, Sebastian Patterson, Q Riles, Quaterian Riles. Had fun talking to him on the Coach's Show a couple times this season. Also Keyshawn Mayers. As we continue, Brian Bobino, who's here, of course. Brian, appreciate you guys. Tyler, did he come this season? I didn't see him. He did?
Yeah, I think he did, actually.
Yeah, so we appreciate him, and congratulations on a good season. Jose Cruz, Tyler Rivers, and just a few more here. Brian Shamar Stanford on the roster as well, and Ed Bobino. Did I leave out anybody that you guys did I miss anybody? Well, let's honor those seniors and give them a round of applause, although I know a lot of them not here tonight, but thank you guys on a successful season. And finally, our friends at True Texas BBQ, and I wanted to thank First Financial Bank, Kirby Kaysen. Boy, they stepped up in a huge way, and Kirby said, whatever you guys need, we're going to make it happen. And so they were our season presenting sponsor. I want to give a special thank you to Kirby and First Financial. Also, Cabins and More of Texas, Charlie's Used Cars, our friends at Walker County Federal Credit Union, Northside Baptist Church, AB Squared, Self Storage, On the Move Physical Therapy and Wellness, Hartfield Florist, Moak & Moak Attorneys at Law, MRC Creekside, Murray Insurance and Financial Services, Climatech Secure Storage, Copeland Family Dentistry, Advantage Specialties, of course, the Huntsville Hornet Quarterback Club, who we heard from tonight, Hit Solutions, appreciate Robert Lindeman, the City of Huntsville with Huntsville First, Daiquiri BB, Abbey Realty, Fat Boys Pizza. If you got to get out there and get some of that pizza, by the way. That's my buddy Shane. Appreciate you. Adams Furniture, Bill Fick Ford, Community Service Credit Union, Ironworks Health Club, Wiesner Huntsville ISD, Whataburger, and Nelson Amias Collision Center. Can we thank all of those sponsors? That was huge. You know, we needed the support, and they made it happen. And
thank you.
One final thing, too, Brian, and then I'll let you have the final thought, is we are broadcasting Huntsville ISD boys and girls basketball. We also have plans to do baseball and try to do softball as well. To make that happen, we do need the community support. Right now, we're still trying to find that support. So maybe someone out there tonight, if you've got an opportunity to help with that, we would love to be able to do that, because we are bringing video. We've already started girls basketball. Even though we don't have support yet, we're already doing it. But we would encourage to reach out. And the best thing is, with our social media platforms and the power of radio, we're reaching more people more than ever. I don't think people realize this. We had over 700 viewers total across all of our platform for that very first girls basketball game. So if you're interested and would like to help support and be a part of that, we would greatly appreciate it. You can reach out to me at KSAM, and we will be more than happy to get you plugged in and show that high level of community involvement. Brian, final thoughts before we go, man.
Hey, I'm just super proud of you guys and your teammates. And I'll say this, last time I had a Hornet uniform on, it was almost 40 years ago, and you had so much support from old Hornets that were watching you guys and going along on that journey with you guys. I mean, it was fantastic. So take what you've learned from this season, apply it to your life, because you'll be amazed how similar life will be to the game of football. Great job. Wonderful season.
Words of wisdom from Coach Brian over
There you
here.
go.
So
Take that with you.
let's give it up one more time. The Hornet Nation Coach Show. And these young men up here, the seniors especially, thank you guys for just a fantastic season. And I'm going to tell you this, the best is truly yet to come. So just keep holding your heads high. Know that this community supports you. The biggest thing is this community loves you guys. And that's a big word, but this community truly does. Everyone I talk to says, we love our kids. We love what they do. So just know that this community loves you. We support you. And like I said, guys, the best is yet to come. Friends, that'll do it here from True Texas BBQ. A special thank you for their support all season long. It's been so much fun having this Hornet Nation Coaches Show. We're looking forward to much more as we continue to work with Huntsville ISD and promote other athletics as well. For Brian Adams and back at the KSAM studio, Jordan Smith running the board. Nathan Hipp, by the way. Thank you, Nathan. Nathan, by the way, drives up from Georgetown to help all season long. That is a 3-hour drive. So thank you, Nathan,
Thanks,
for all
Nathan.
that you do,
Appreciate
buddy.
it, man.
And so I appreciate Nathan and Melton and TJ and the rest of our crew and Josh Criswell, the Huntsville item, doing great work. One final time, Huntsville, as I remind you, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there tonight needs you. For one final time, let's say Sting 'em Hornets on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Sting 'em Hornets. Good night, and God bless Huntsville.
True Texas BBQ, smoked with Texas oak wood for up to 14 hours. Barbecue by the plate or pound, plus delicious sides like brisket, beans, creamed corn, potato salad, and coleslaw. Hungry? Stop by True Texas BBQ inside HEB. Voted best barbecue chain in Texas the past 2 years by Texas Monthly.
Sam Houston Electric Cooperative is focused on you, our consumer members. That's why we work day in and day out to keep your electricity costs affordable.